Hey everybody, it's Murgle, and today in this one, we'll be discussing patch 8.1 and the things to come. There's actually quite a bit, and 8.1 is even being referred to as the real launch battle for Azeroth. With it being just around the corner, as in next week, I figured we should cover some of the bigger stuff, so let's just get into it. So first off, the biggest thing about patch 8.1 that comes to mind is the fact they're adding a vendor for basically most of the current content that we have. The first one here being a vendor related to island expeditions. While her rewards aren't something that you get randomly inside the expedition, it at least gives you a use for the overwhelming amount of seafarers doubloons that you end up with. So, even if you don't get the item that you're hunting after each game, you'll at least get a little bit of credit towards one of these rewards, whatever it may be that you choose. They're also changing how island expeditions are rewarding items coming soon in 8.1, so hopefully it'll be a little easier to get the things we're hunting too. It's not going to be as confusing or stupid or such an odd system that it is currently. Warfronts, also receiving a new vendor. It's going to give you these commendations, and the commendations are awarded from Warfront participation, from world quests, wherever it may be. And then you take these commendations to purchase the objects from this vendor. Now, the accommodations are from the world quests, which are getting added in 8.1 because, if you remember, Arathi Highlands really didn't have much content to do after you finished this initial quest line. It was really boring, so they're going to add world quests to both the zones, and then you're going to get these commendations. It's going to have a few mounts. There's a couple BOAs, some toys. There's actually a special account-bound potion. Pretty interesting. It gives you a leveling experience boost. Very nice. And, there you go. It's given a little more incentive to do Warfronts because right now they're essentially just glorified gear farms. And at least now it feels like you're earning progress towards something else, which is a little bit of a, better incentive. But the biggest vendor, and probably the most important, is the Azerite gear vendor. Collection of Azerite gear has been a very, very big issue so far this expansion. You get a ton of the junk, but the vast majority of it not being the right item level. It's not what you needed because it's got the wrong spells and abilities, or it's just pure garbage, and it's causing tons of frustration amongst players, So with this vendor, you'll be able to collect Titan Residum, which is obtained through various means, like your weekly cash. You can scrap leftover Azerite gear, and it'll result in you obtaining some of this Titan Residum. While the targeted pieces are going to take upwards of 6 weeks to obtain, based on what Blizzard said, it's at least a step in the right direction. It'll allow you to go for the things that you want. And this paired with the fact that in 8.1, the reforging cost, which is, it decays every 3 days. When you reforge, it costs double, double, and double again, and it gets very expensive very quickly. They're going to change it to 24 hours, which is going to be helpful for individuals who like to swap their talents on the Azerite gear frequently and things like that. They're making steps in the right direction. And then later down the line in 8.1, they're also going to be adding the 5th ring sometime in January next year, which is going to add some more talents, more flavor. And it seems like they're really trying to make Azerite gear work, which, I hope it happens. I hope it ends up being a fun system. The next thing up, leveling, is getting sped up quite greatly. And I'm very much glad about this. Way back when they made all these changes, I expressed how strongly that I disliked the way they were handling it. At the very least, they're trying to get it back to a similar position. In fact, now the XP required for some levels are even less than what they were way back before 7.3.5 when they started making all these changes, from what I can tell. It's definitely noticeable amounts, especially during the levels that people consider problem areas, like 60 to 80. As for the time it takes to level, I didn't really want to bother leveling a character from 1 to 120 on the PTR. Yet, I figured I should wait for the update to come out once it's live. It's only about a week from now. And I think I'll give it a go when 8.1 goes live, see what kind of results I end up with. Based on my guesses, it should take roughly the same time as what it was before all these changes. Even though the experience required for some levels is a lot less than before, you also have to take into account they really slowed down the rate at which you kill things too. So it should balance out to roughly the same speed, I'm guessing, but with a more interactive experience is the way I should put it. I'd say it's a decent balance for players who enjoy playing the more realistic, slow-paced of leveling, but now with less experience we can get back to power leveling pretty quickly too, which I'm glad about. And to top it off, the level 110 to 120 bracket will now have incursions, which are basically the BFA version of Legion Invasions. They don't give nearly as much experience as Invasions did, but it's definitely efficient for the time it takes, so you can get some quick levels doing that. Another big update, account-wide reputation benefits are being added in 8.1. While Blizzard doesn't just want to make reputation straight up account-wide, as much as I would like them to, they are making most of the issues of revolving it a lot less of an issue. So before, you basically had to have one character who was your main dedicated character for collecting reps towards achievements. Basically, you were stuck playing this character all the time, even if you didn't want to anymore, if you wanted to swap characters, just because the way that achievements took credit towards them. Well, now, credit towards these achievements will be account-wide, so if one character has 10 reputations at Exalted, and another has 10 different reputations at Exalted, then the overall total will be 20 reputations counting towards the achievements. To top it off, much of the rewards that you get from certain reps, like being Exalted and having access to tabards for transmogging, all of that stuff will be account-wide, regardless of that character's status with the reputation. So if one character's Exalted with Sporagar and another's not, even the character that's not Exalted with Sporagar could wear the tabard or something like that. Another thing, which is mostly related to BFA, is the reputation with Magni, Champions of Azeroth, will now allow you to upgrade your necklace to be account-wide as long as one character on your account has unlocked it. Overall good changes. Maybe one day we'll get to a flat account-wide reputation status, but I also understand why they choose not to do that, because they would greatly have to change the system on how reputation is rewarded, simply because if reps were completely account-wide, you could get progress towards Exalted extremely fast unless they made it so repeating things did not continually give progress, things like that. I mean, it'd be a very, very odd way to handle it, so I get why they don't do it, but at the same time, I wish they would. In 8.1, we're also getting another Warfront, and this one is related to Darkshore. Now, of course, we're getting that fancy new vendor, which I discussed a little bit earlier, helps incentivize doing Warfronts. We're also going to have a Zone World quest to complete to help obtain these resources. There are a ton more rares that drop mounts to obtain, and the Warfront is going to drop even more gear to help get your item level up quickly, like its predecessor did in Arathi. I really hope this one turns out better than the first one, though. As we all know, Warfronts, well, I think they're sort of enjoyable. They can also get very stale very quickly. I really just want to see where it goes, honestly. I hope it's a good Warfront this time around. Speaking a little more in depth about Azerite armor, we're getting the big 5th Ring of Talents to choose from, and this will not be coming immediately as 8.1 comes out. It won't roll around until next month in January, but it's something to look forward to as well. This is supposedly going to give you more variety to choose from, so you can get a combination of better, synergizing, interesting talents. Of course, the vendor is being added to, which will definitely increase at least the overall availability of Azerite armor itself, which is a big issue. And better Azerite gear, we're going to be able to obtain it without having to rely purely on luck, pretty much. The reforge cost going down is definitely useful, because originally the idea was you were supposed to have an Azerite gear for every spec, another piece, an extra piece, yada yada yada. Like, they wanted you to swap your gear completely. They didn't want you to have to reforge constantly, which I don't know how they expected that system was ever going to work if Azerite gear was so unobtainable, because yeah, you could easily get a full set of gear for each spec, but do you really want to sacrifice your level 370 Azerite gear to wear level 310 Azerite gear just so you can't reforge it? Things like that. The system was never really working out like they intended it to, so I'm glad they're trying to make it a little more reliable to what they initially wanted to happen. So hopefully you'll be able to obtain enough pieces that you can build an entire new set each time that you would like to change specs and things like that. But anyways, lastly, the biggest thing that's coming in 8.1. For me, at least, the thing I'm most excited about for it. I really can't wait till Tuesday because this is what I want. The new Riddle Mount will be going live. I hope that it's as challenging as the Lucid Nightmare was. That was absolutely thrilling to hunt. I'm very, very much excited for this. I can't wait to see how many people get in the Discord. At one point, there were thousands of people in the voice chat, and it just sounded like a bunch of robots because Discord couldn't handle that many people trying to talk. And it was great, and I loved it, and it's a blast, and I can't wait for 8.1 to go live just for this thing. I hope it takes like a week like the Lucid Nightmare did, at least. That would be great. I love it. It was a blast. Look very much forward to it. But to wrap it up, though, there's a lot of changes in 8.1. Many, many more to come in 8.1.5. That's when we're expecting to see the Coltaran and the Zandalari races. There's a lot of things that I don't even cover in this video that are coming with 8.1. It's very much, I would say it's a decently large patch. It's hopefully going to make my excitement and enjoyment for the game come back. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I hope these changes make classes start to feel fun again, because everything fell apart when BFA went live. So I hope that the Azerite gear updates can make classes start to feel lively again. We can only hope, right? That's the only way to put it, huh? Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. Look forward to seeing you all in the coming weeks. And join that Discord. Get in the Secret Finding Discord. Hope you hear me in there. That'll be a great time. See you in a week. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. See you again very soon. Bye-bye.